Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and I am getting ready to sew up a one-piece swimsuit, and I wanted to make sure that my trunk length is going to fit. When I try swimsuits at the store, usually they are too tight at the trunk. So I want to make sure that this swimsuit's going to fit, so I'm going to show you how to measure your trunk and then how to change your pattern, or what you have to do to change your pattern if you need to change that measurement. So let's get to it. All right, let's get started by measuring ourselves. So I'm going to use my measuring tape, and you know, this is best done if you have somebody to help you and in your undergarments, but I have neither of those today. So I'm just gonna show you, and then you can do it on your own. So we're gonna grab our measuring tape and we're gonna go all the way around our crotch area, and we're gonna go over our shoulder and around, like around our shoulder / neck area. This is the reason why it's easier to get have somebody help you, because usually your measuring tape goes flying. If you don't have somebody else to help you, you could use like another piece, like a rope, like a piece of yarn or something like that. That would be, and then you can just match up where they match up and then measure that. So what I did here is I grabbed a clip, and I'm gonna place it right where it ends, and then I can measure it, because I know it's longer than my measuring tape. Or if you have a really long measuring tape, that will work as well. So what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that it is comfortable. It's not a tight fit, it's just a fit. So it's going to be against your body, so it's not super loose, but it's also not like restricting. So you don't want that. And you wanna stand straight so that you get a correct measurement. All right, friends, now that I've got my measurements, I am using this scrap piece of paper, and we're going to figure out how we're going to add this extra inches to our swimsuit. Now remember, I always said that my trunk is so much longer than my regular size. As you can see, that's 3-inch difference. What I did is, this is my trunk size right here, which is 63 inches. And then I went ahead and looked for the biggest size of trunk, the largest inches on medium, which is where I fit on my high bust, which was 60 inches. I went to the size chart and I found that. So then I subtracted 60 inches off of the 63, which gave me 3 inches. So that is the difference. That is why all the swimsuits that's always so tight on me, because 3-inch different is what it is. Okay, so now what we do is we go ahead and divide that by 4. So we divide 3 into 4 and we get 75, which is 3/4. Okay, so I've got 0.75, sorry, so it's 3/4. So this is how much I'm going to have to now add. So now remember, when we adjust for height or anything like that, because of the fact that our fabric is stretchy, we really only do we only add half of the whole total. So like if I have to add an inch, you usually only add half an inch on the height or whatever. So we're doing the same thing here. We divided it by 4, but so we're only going to do it twice though. So we're going to take 3/4, we're going to add 3/4 inch to the front of the bodice, and we're going to add 3/4 inch to the back of the bodice. And that is going to give me the room that I need, the extra room that I need for my bodice. Now, let's say that it was a negative. Let's say that it was a smaller size. You would do the same. You would divide, let's say you're smaller, 3 inches smaller. So when you took your measurements, it was 57. So what you do is you are going to do the same exact thing, and instead of adding, I'm going to add 3/4 inch on front and back. You would subtract 3/4 inch from the front and subtract 3/4 inch from the back. So I'm going to show you that now. Here is my bodice, swimsuit bodice. I already cut it. So here's the waistline, and here's where you can add or remove trunk length. There's a little arrow here. So what you would do is you could either place it on top of your fabric and use your ruler. Make sure that when you do your 3/4, add in your 3/4 inch, and then place it right on top of your fabric and cut around it. Or you can grab a piece of paper. It's thundering around here. Can you hear it? Grab a piece of paper, measure 3/4 inch. So that little area right there is 3/4 inch. And then you can go ahead and cut that 3/4 inch piece of paper. and you can place it right in there and tape your pattern together, because now what you have is a new pattern piece. So now you don't have to worry about doing this every time you make this pattern. You already have this piece of paper here to do that. And then you're going to do the same for the back. As you can see right here, waistline, add or remove at this line. You would cut it open right here and add that little piece that you need to. Now let's say that you have to subtract, so then you would just go around and add, I'm sorry. Let's say that you have to remove the 3/4 inch. So now you've got that 3/4 inch piece of paper and you're just overlapping it, a 3/4 inch overlap. And so you would glue it on and then just kind of fix this right here, just go straight edge. So you don't have to go but you just would go right along here, and that would be subtracting. Now remember, we talked about the fact that if you need to add more than 2 inches, so then what you're going to do is you're going to divide between these two lines. You don't want all the length to be just here at the middle. You have right here that you can add length to as well. All right, so remember, we have an issue because remember I told you that if we have to add more than 2 inches, you want to split it up between the two sections. Well, I gotta add 1.5 inches, so it would be fine, but you can go ahead and split it up and add the 2 inches. If you have to add more than 2 inches, you can split that up between this line right here and this line down here. You've got 2 lines where you can split it up. And so you can add, let's say I had to, so that's 1.5 inches that I'm adding. I'm adding 0.75 here, 0.79, yes, 3/4 inch here and 3/4 inch there. But if I had to add a whole inch, and I didn't want to add it from both sides, you can add 1/2 inch here and then cut here and add another 1/2 inch here. It really is up to you, also depending on where your length is too. So let's say that you're adding more than 2 inches, you could add 1 inch here and then cut right here and add another inch here. So that way it's not that way, because you see the shape of the hip right here. You don't want this to pull all the way down and your hip starts curving, and then now it's kind of disproportionate. All right, here comes the moment of truth. I'm going to cut my fabric. I'm only adding my length in the middle section, so that's what I'm doing. All right, friends, time to cut our fabric. I'm using this gorgeous exclusive print from August Closet in Swim. I'm going to add a link to her shop below if you want to go check out all her exclusive prints that you can have printed in swim fabric. It is super soft, super stretchy, and super nice. So let's get to cutting. I am only adding the length that is in the center. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, good. I cut them all up and I couldn't remember which one's the front and which one's the back, but you just make sure that they do match up. And all I'm doing is adding that 3/4 inch. The one thing about swim is that it's a little bit slippery, so you need to make sure that you have some weights or something holding your fabric down, or it's going to move on you as you're trying to cut it. If you're wondering about the dress that I have on this part of the video, it is a hacked Chapman cardigan. Basically it's a Chapman cardigan slash staycation hack that I did. We do have a video on our channel about how to create this dress, and I made it in Swiss dot fabric, also from August Closet. I'm gonna have to use my clips on this because my rotary cutter is very dull and I have not gotten new blades for it yet. What do you like to use? Do you cut your pattern pieces out with scissors, or do you use a rotary cutter? And if you use a rotary cutter, how often do you change your blades? I'm wondering that. I don't change them very often. It's probably not good, but I'm lazy and I do not like to spend the money, even though it makes the job so much easier when I actually get new blades. Friends, I am so excited to be able to finally have a swimsuit that is going to fit. I always have to end up buying a size up size up or 2 sizes up, and then they don't fit at the top because obviously it's not my size. So I'm always struggling because there's some really cute one-piece suits that I like and I just can't fit into them. So this is excellent. Also, I wanted to mention that if your suit that you're adding this length to, your bodysuit or your swimsuit, whatever you're adding length to, like this time I'm adding it to, this is the rash guard. But if you are adding it to whatever pattern you're adding it to, you need to make sure that if you are doing a liner, you want to add it to your liner as well. You do not want to just add it to your outer fabric, because then your liner is gonna be tight and that's not gonna work. Also, another thing is that you want to make sure that you maybe do a trial run first. So you can use your liner fabric and do this to your liner fabric first. Sew it at the shoulders, sew the shoulder sleeve, the shoulders and the crotch, and try it on, and you can sew the sides, just kind of base them on and just try it on to make sure that it's going to fit correctly. All right, friends, my fabric is now all cut. Head on over to our next video. Check out my video where I'm going to actually sew this rash guard, well, this swimsuit up, this beautiful raglan swimsuit up, and come sew it up with me. I am super excited about it. I can't wait to have a bathing suit that actually fits. So I'll see you all over there. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, so you never miss any of our tutorials. Let me know if you have any questions and if you found this helpful. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!